Oh, nearly dropped the camera then. So I'm out on a very foggy morning. It was actually really nice when I got up. It has only just gone 8 o'clock. The sun is up over there, but as you can see, it's pretty misty at the moment. I think it's because it's actually getting a bit warmer, although it is bloody freezing at the moment. Wow, look at that. But so I'm out only on another short ride. I haven't actually been out for a couple of weeks because I've not been out on the road bike for a couple of weeks, because I was out doing this route that I'm about to do a couple of weeks ago, and my rear hub packed up, so I had to get Mrs. B to come and pick me up from Chatteris. So I wasn't actually filming that ride, but it was along here. We're on Puddock Road, as you probably know, that the bike started playing up, and I thought initially it was just the gears slipping slightly, so it didn't sort of worry me too much. But as I got along here, I heard it was almost like a kind of metallic noise, sort of like something that got caught in the spokes, and from then on, intermittently I wasn't getting any bite on the rear cassette when I was pedaling, so the crank was kind of turning about a quarter turn and there was absolutely nothing there. So, and that got progressively worse until when I got to Chatteris, the crank was just free spinning and it just wasn't engaging at all. So I called Mrs. B out. Ironically, I took a little video of it on my phone to send to Chris, who's the bike mechanic, who did come out and fix it, but I actually uploaded the video here on YouTube, and it's about 12 seconds of a crank spinning round. That's all it is, and it's had about 4,600 views so far. It's bonkers. It's my highest viewed video on here, so kind of makes you question whether all this effort of going out on bike rides and then sitting for hours and editing and sorting the music out and everything else. But anyway, so yeah, so Mrs. B came and picked me up, and then I got Chris to come out. He ended up taking the wheel away, and he rebuilt. He put a new free hub on it, new bearings, axle bearings and hub bearings, and hopefully, as you can hear now, there's a nice click to it, which is the ratchet working, because it was the springs in the ratchet that had busted, which is probably what I heard. So anyway, so yeah, we're on the road, we're on Puddock Road. We're going to go up to the 40-foot bank along there, which I think is still closed to traffic, so it should be pretty good along there, and then drop down into Chatteris, and then Somersham, Piddly, and back home. So I will talk to you intermittently. I'll put you back on the bike because my arm's aching, and I'll see you in a bit. See you in a bit.
Sometimes like all you
So we're just coming up to the turning that I would normally take here, which goes down to Ramsey. So that turning there passes that little chapel as well, that was on the bend. Hopefully you probably remember that. It's actually featured in a lot of the videos that I've done over the years, because I've gone down that way quite a bit. But I was actually gutted to see online that the chapel's actually been demolished. There's a lot of, as is normally the case with the keyboard warriors, there's a lot of speculation and a lot of kind of unsubstantiated reports about what actually happened to it. I'm just speeding up because there's a car coming down. But I think the official line from whoever owned it, or the farmer, is that it got clipped by a car and collapsed. Now I personally don't believe that, because you'll see in this photograph here that it was slightly offset from the road, so it wasn't actually on the road. So, and you know, unless you were going at a rate of knots, or you were driving a huge agricultural vehicle, which is possible out here, then it wouldn't have got hit. You know, it does make me wonder that whether who owned the land. I mean, it wasn't being used for anything. As far as I'm aware, it probably wasn't listed. I mean, it was a really old building. It was an original church, so it probably would have, I don't know the date of it. I mean, it's probably quite a few hundred years old. But I just think it's a real shame that buildings like that are being lost and not repurposed. You know, it would have probably made an ideal house if somebody with the right amount of investment had come along. But it's now a pile of rubble, which I think is really sad. You know, it's, there's too much architecture in this country like that. Certainly the really old buildings that are being lost, or just kind of indiscriminately taken down or bulldozed or whatever, you know. So anyway, that's my little rant over. It's getting increasingly foggier. My glasses are steaming up. This lens is probably steaming up as well, but we'll press on and I'll speak to you again probably when we're in Chatteris. So I'll see you in a bit. I need two hands for this bit because it is getting a bit, oh god, it's getting a bit bumpy. So it's not the best road surface, this little bit here. So right, I'll see you in a bit. See you in a bit. See you in a bit. That's the beauty of having this road closed. It's been closed actually for quite a few weeks now, and I've ridden down here quite a few times, and it's actually really good because this is normally a really busy road. And I've driven down here, like I keep saying driven, I'm on the bike, ridden down here so many times, and it's featured in a lot of these videos because this is the main road from Ramsey behind me out to kind of Chatteris and beyond through the Fens. But with it being shut, I can ride effectively on the wrong side of the road and get views like that. I mean, how bloody amazing does that look? Even in the fog, you know, the Fens are such a beautiful part of the country. It's just stunning. Hopefully though, I mean, it's looking like the sun is going to burn some of this fog off. I mean, it really wasn't this foggy when I got up this morning. I was up fairly early. It was bloody cold, and it still is pretty cold now, and there's a lot of ice about, but you know, you can't whack that scenery. It looks amazing. But so I'm going to put you back on the bike, and then we'll bang it down to Chatteris. So I'll see you in a bit. I'll see you in a bit. So I'm on the Chatteris to Somersham Road. As is normally the case, there's a bit of a wind. It's not too blowy at the moment, but it's actually really odd because the fog that I started in Warboys and I've kind of come out of in Chatteris, you can see it's clear over there, but I'm heading that way and it's blowing across the fields there. It hasn't, although it's lifted where I am, it doesn't seem to have lifted kind of over that way. So I could imagine in probably about half an hour, well, half an hour for me anyway, probably a couple of minutes for you, we'll be back in the fog. So one of the things that I did forget to mention was my new theory about why I possibly came off on the Isle of Wight. I'd originally put it down to the chain coming off, because when I picked the bike up off the road, the chain was actually off. So I just assumed that as I was going uphill, I'd hit a dip or hit a bump or something and the chain had bounced and came off. But I now think that it was because of the free hub, because the feeling I was getting, certainly along Puddock Road, just prior to the free hub packing up, was the same as I did on the Isle of Wight. So I think as I was going up that slight rise into Ryde, I think the free hub just momentarily stopped working, and obviously because I was clipped in and riding uphill with nothing there, you know, under the pedals, I just came off. So it kind of seems a bit more plausible than the chain coming off. So just thought I'd share that with you anyway. Whoa, whoa. So sorry, there's a bit of a dip there. Anyway, as you've probably just seen, I should really have both hands on the bars. So I'll speak to you again in a minute. I'll put you back on the bike. We'll crack down to Somersham and then head up, probably back into the fog. And I'll speak to you in a bit. I'll see you in a bit.